Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking to a visiting filmmaker here to Troy University, Isaac Ergas. Isaac, thanks for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me.
And the reason why you were here in Troy is tied into the common reader here, is the Ghost Map.
Yes.
And you made a film based on the life of the gentleman the book is based on. Tell us a little about the film that you've made.
I've made a film titled Snow, and it's a story about Dr. John Snow, who lived in 1850s London. And he was a physician who discovered that cholera at the time, which was ravaging the world, was being transmitted through water, when the common belief at the time was that it was being transmitted through the air. Mm-hmm. So essentially his research led eventually to the saving of maybe hundreds of thousands of lives, and also from his research stemmed the science of epidemiology, which would then go on to study all the diseases that we study today.
And now, what made you want to do this? You have a history in public health, correct? So what made you decide to go from doing public health to the filmmaking and eventually making this movie?
Right. Yeah. So I originally learned about John Snow in my introductory course in public health school, and just about any student who goes through public health school will learn about this man, though he's not as well known to the common public. So when I first learned about his story, I just thought it was a very cinematic story. It had a lot of elements of cinema. It can remind, his story already invokes images of 19th century London, of Sherlock Holmes and Oliver Twist and things like that. So years later, when I actually went back to school for a film degree, I always kind of had that on my mind and wanted to use that as a story, as a film. When I learned about the Sloan Foundation, that they were interested in funding filmmakers to make films about science-based themes, it was just a very natural fit. Pulled together a proposal, sent it off to them. They liked it, and we got the money to make the movie.
And so now the movie's made, and obviously connection with the university here because they're using the Ghost Map as the common reader, and so they invited you to come and speak. So did it surprise you that a university is studying the same story that you made a movie out of?
No, not at all. I've had a lot of interest from a lot of different universities and schools. I get emails all the time from professors that want to use the movie in conjunction with their studies, with the courses that they're teaching. I've done some similar programs like this at other universities. So no, I'm not surprised because John Snow was he was a great scientist, and rightfully being taught, his story is being taught in programs all over the world. I get emails from all over the world, actually. And I know that the Ghost Map also has become a popular book. It's a well-written book about his story. So I think it's actually a great idea to have the book and then bring in the film as a way to complement the program.
And obviously the chance to be able to come and talk with students about it and give some additional insight. Obviously for students that are learning about the book, and you know the book and you've read the book and probably use it as a resource for the movie, how does it make you feel to be able to kind of share and expand on the ideas of what they're learning in this book, especially for someone who learned it when you were in public health school? These are kids in general studies courses that are learning about the same guy that has inspired you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was partly, my goal in making this movie. I mean, I really had in my mind when I was making the film, I really had two audiences to consider. I had the audience that I knew would already know about John Snow and maybe a little bit more critical about the story because they kind of have more sense of the facts and things like that. But then there was also this other audience, which was the general audience, people who had never heard of John Snow before, and there's a lot of people out there who have not. And so I didn't want to get too bogged down in technicalities around his story. I really just wanted people to learn a little bit about who he was and what he brought to our society. So so it's really, I think, and I think the movie does both. I think it can really help those that are in public health and understand kind of what he's doing to help kind of advance their knowledge of what he did during those years. But I think it's also really a great introductory resource for somebody who's never heard of Jon Snow. I get a lot of people afterwards that come up to me, like, I never heard of that guy, never knew that story. That was great, I had no idea.
And it's a stepping off point, so they get a chance to learn a little bit more.
That's right, and I'm certain that a lot of people, after they see them, maybe go home, they, Wikipedia Jon Snow or whatever, and people that never would have heard of him before get a chance to learn a little bit about him.
Well, here's hoping that a lot more individuals get a chance to learn about him. I want to thank you for joining today, and good luck with the rest of your trip here at Troy. So thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.